It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and I'm back with another episode of Hood Tales. In this video, I'll be taking it to Chicago, Illinois, to discuss the tragic story of 16-year-old Heaven Taylor. Before we get into this video, I would like to give a special shout out to Pretty Black for the super chats. Thank you so much for your love and continued support of the channel. You are appreciated. Thank you. Now, please hit that like button if you enjoy our content and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Also, if you'd like to see more episodes of Hood Tales, please click the link to the playlist in the description box or comment section after this video to get caught up on episodes you may have missed. Finally, feel free to share this video with everyone you know. Everything in this video is alleged and is public information. All right, let's get right into it. On Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023, late night, 16-year-old Heaven Taylor and 4 friends took the CTA Red Line train to the Loop in downtown Chicago. Heaven and her friends walked to a Taco Bell, but the restaurant was only accepting online orders. The friends left the restaurant and began walking to a nearby sandwich shop. On the way there, the group passed 18-year-old Egypt Otis and a group of her friends who were hanging out outside the Metropolitan Correctional Center. As Heaven and her friends walked by, Egypt said she wanted to fight one of Heaven's friends. Heaven and her friends had run-ins with Egypt and her group of friends in the past. The group that Egypt was with was about 15 to 20 people deep. The girls proceeded to argue back and forth about who was going to do what. Heaven became upset with the situation and she interjected. People surrounding the scene began to encourage Heaven, who is in the white tank top, and Egypt, who is wearing the red crop top and black shorts, to put hands on each other. Heaven and Egypt square up and exchange punches. Egypt allegedly produced a knife and struck Heaven in the chest. The crowd of people reacted to what they just saw with oohs, and Heaven retreated after being cut, holding her chest, stumbling in the street before she finally collapsed. By that time, Egypt fled and was seen jumping the turnstile at the CTA Blue Line with 2 males. She had put on several new items of clothing as she got on the train. She was seen with cuts on her hand as if she handled a sharp blade. Heaven laid in the street as her friends surrounded her, screaming and pleading for her to stay with them. At around 11:20 p.m., officers responded to a 911 call from the Taco Bell for a disturbance. They were flagged down by someone who described the altercation nearby in the first block of West Van Buren Street. Many people were still at the scene when officers found Heaven suffering from her wounds. Officers applied a chest seal bandage. Heaven had a 2-inch gash that went to her heart, along with 2 other wounds. She was rushed to Northwestern Memorial Hospital to be treated. Sadly, Heaven would succumb to her injuries and was pronounced gone on Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Heaven left behind a 2-year-old son. She was a rising junior at UCAN Academy, an alternative school on the South Side. Her principal said Heaven had a huge, bold personality and was as bright as her red hair. They said Heaven loved art and coloring. Heaven's mother said her daughter was a lovable person and wants her daughter to be remembered as a good mother, good auntie, and a good daughter. Heaven was focusing on her goals and planning her upcoming birthday. Not only did Heaven's mother lose her, She also lost Heaven's 29-year-old brother in November 2022 after a shooting at a McDonald's on the South Side. Heaven's mother also sustained an injury in that incident, and now her arm still has 3 screws and a pin from the wound. Heaven's mother will be the one to raise Heaven's son. At least one witness identified Egypt as a suspect and told police what led up to Heaven losing her life. Egypt Otis was from the Chicago southwest suburb of Oak Lawn. According to niche.com, Oak Lawn is one of the best places to live in Illinois. According to the website, living in Oak Lawn offers residents a dense suburban feel, and most residents own their own homes. I can't speak on Egypt's upbringing, but it appears that she lived in a pretty nice part of town. Despite that, Egypt had a pending case in juvenile court for a robbery in April 2023. She was allegedly one of 4 females identified on a Red Line train earlier that month who roughed up and robbed a CTA passenger, according to reports. After the fatal incident between Egypt and Heaven, Egypt went to a pastor of a West Side church, supposedly scared and looking for help. After speaking to Egypt and her mother, the pastor and fellow church leaders advised her to go to the police and called the Harrison Police District's faith advisor. At 5 o'clock that Wednesday afternoon, police met with Egypt outside the church, and she was placed into custody without incident. The church worker said he was confident that police would be able to see from video footage that Egypt was being attacked and that people were trying to portray her as the aggressor, but said she wasn't. The man claimed she was standing there when they came after her and things escalated. During a court hearing for Egypt just days after the incident, Egypt's public defender said she may have been acting in self-defense. But the judge noted that Heaven was unarmed and nearly a foot shorter than Egypt. The judge also highlighted Egypt's attempt to conceal her identity, and while there was prior animosity, Heaven's attempt to step back signaled an attempt to de-escalate the situation before Egypt allegedly pulled a weapon and lunged at her. The prosecution had video evidence showing Heaven stepping back from Egypt as she moved forward with the weapon striking her. The judge also stated that Egypt and the group of people she was with introduced weapons and lethal force that resulted in Heaven's loss. The judge ordered that Egypt be held without bail until her trial. She was charged with first-degree hit. Egypt Otis is innocent until proven guilty. May Heaven Taylor rest in peace. My deepest condolences to her mother and family. My heart breaks for her baby boy and also her mother, who had to lay 2 of her children to rest in a short span of time. I can't imagine what that must feel like, but I sympathize with her. This tragic situation is just very unfortunate. Heaven's life was precious, and I hate that she lost it in this way. Egypt could have probably chosen a different path in life. They both could have. 2 young lives gone over what, really? I wish I could find the words to describe how this could have been avoided, but I'm having a hard time. It's really hard to say who was wrong and who was right, but at the end of the day, both of these young ladies' actions had dire consequences. And as a parent of a teenage and a 20-year-old daughter, I can only hope they choose to make the best decisions for their lives, as most of us parents do. After a certain age, it's so much you can do if they choose a certain path. Fam, I'll leave the rest up to you. Tell me your thoughts and opinions on this in the comments below. All right, fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the playlist in the description below. I'll also leave a link to it in the comments so you can get caught up on Hood Tales episodes you may have missed. Please don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and I'm out.